Welcome to Earrings Off, the podcast that speaks to your heart, fuels your mind, and uplifts your spirit. I'm Lou, and today we're diving into a personal reflection to kick off the new year. What's your word for 2025? Mine is compassion. It's a simple word, but it carries the weight of change, healing, and connection. This episode is all about leaning into that word and exploring how we can choose compassion in big ways and small for ourselves and for others. I'll share moments from this past year that brought me to this realization. From an inspiring story of resilience to a humbling personal lesson in grace. You'll hear how pausing, assuming the best, and practicing gratitude can transform not only how we treat ourselves, but also how we treat others. Let's step into the new year together, ready to lead with kindness and create ripples of light all over the world. Stay tuned. You really don't want to miss this one. It's 2025, time to get those earrings off once again and dive in. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, well, I have the honor of heading up the new episodes for the new year. Wow, what a year it's been. As I sat down to think about this past year, I couldn't help but feel a whirlwind of emotions, gratitude, apprehension, and a longing for things to be better for all of us. I think many of you can relate to that mix of hope and uncertainty as we step into 2025. This year brings so many unknowns, whether it's changes in leadership or personal challenges. Many of us are wondering what lies ahead. But one thing we all can control is how we treat each other in the face of uncertainty. Recently, there was a video on TikTok where a single mom of 9 was excited about her gift to her children. After living in shelters and sleeping in the car, the mom bought a house. Upon hearing the news, the kids were overjoyed. They all ran to her to give her big hugs, and they were hugging her so she fell to the ground. It was a heartwarming scene. I was happy for the kids and so proud of the mom. I stated how happy I was for the family in the comments. And then when I looked at the other comments, that's when I went from feeling happy to highly annoyed. Several comments talked about how the mom shouldn't have had 9 children that she couldn't afford, and how kids want toys for Christmas, not a house, and how the mom was a poor mom for not being able to provide stable housing for the children. And some even questioned what government assistance she had received at taxpayers' expense to even buy the home. My heart fell. It wasn't just a few comments like these. There were quite a few who took this stance. I stopped for a minute and then remembered the saying, hurt people hurt people. There has to really be something wrong in a person's life to think it's okay to kick a person when they are down. To think it's okay to intentionally make someone else feel devalued or less than as a result of where they now find themselves in life. None of us truly knows what others are going through. We don't know their past or the challenges that have occurred in their lives to land them where they may be. When I saw the joy in that family's moment, it inspired me. But reading those comments reminded me how often we forget to lead with compassion. It struck me, how many times have we made assumptions about someone or a situation that turned out to be totally wrong? So wrong, in fact, that after learning more, you felt like a jerk. I'm here raising my hand because that recently happened to me. A few months ago, a friend came into town for an event with her family. I love her dearly, but sometimes her life has quite a bit of drama. I'm going through some personal drama in my family right now, too, and I really didn't have the bandwidth to handle hers, too. Her schedule was crazy, but she kept texting and calling to try and fit me into her schedule. I was also busy, and given my emotional state, I really wasn't in the mood for company. I was operating on one foot in front of the other mode to get through the day. As has been the case lately, I believed any conversation we would have would primarily focus on her latest mishaps. I was doing everything I could to avoid her. I kept saying to my husband that I wasn't up to seeing her. She would not be deterred. I was so exhausted, I gave up. When we got together for coffee, she shared that her life is going quite well, actually. I was so pleased to hear that. And what was the real reason she changed her very full schedule and wanted to see me so badly? She said she could tell by the sound of my voice I was having a hard time. She didn't need me, but knew I needed her. But as always, she also knew I was too proud to say that. Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. While I was so focused on my own exhaustion, she was making space in her very busy life to show up for me. In that moment, I felt a mix of gratitude and guilt. She reminded me that compassion is about being present even when it's not convenient. So as we step into this new year, I hope we can all make the choice to lead with kindness. Here's what we can do individually. We can pause before speaking, reflect on how our words might affect someone. We can assume positive intent. Consider that someone might be doing their best with what they have at the present. Remember, the world does not revolve around you. It's not always about you. Practice gratitude. Acknowledge kindness when you see it and share it with others. This new year, seek to be the light in someone's darkness and to create ripples of positivity in our communities. It starts with you and it starts with me. Let's do this together. My very real hope is that while we all try to navigate these waters called life, we can be kind, extend grace, and show mercy to others, particularly those who you absolutely know are going through a rough time. I'm also praying that you show kindness, grace, and mercy to yourself by acknowledging that you are hurting, that you're in pain, and for whatever reason, you're not doing that well right in this moment. If I'm speaking to you and that's your reality, please get some help. And don't take this misery into the new year and unleash it on others. You are so much better than that.